The actual reasons why this happened on Simchat Torah, why it was that it took 6 hours for any reaction to occur, when the Army and Air Force bases were within earshot of what was going on. I have friends who were helicopter pilots, attack pilots, who were sitting in their cockpits, ready to take off, fully loaded, ready to stop them at the fence. They didn't get their orders for 6 hours. The Army had detachments spread out in all the communities in what we call the Gaza envelope. And okay, well, they decided that it wasn't necessary because no one was coming across. No one could get by the fence. So they did away with the Army protection, and they kind of appointed local civilian security detachments. Then they took a lot of their guns away, and they said, you go buy your own bloody gun if you want one. Why? The most commonly heard word right now in Israel is lama. Why? Why would you do that? What was the explanation for that? I can't fathom it. I can't understand it. I can't wrap my head around it. Why? You're on an active frontier. It's a combat zone. Why are you taking military equipment away from the people who you've, by default, allowed or designated as the first responders? In a lot of cases, the security detachments who survived and have given evidence, they were totally outgunned. How am I supposed to defend a community with this when they're coming across with Kalashnikovs and RPGs and RKPs and all kinds of heavy infantry equipment? How am I supposed to shoot them with a 9mm pistol? Our guys did. They did. In some cases, they took the guns off the dead Hamasniks. That's how bad it is here. They had to strip the enemy of their equipment to use against them. Who's responsible for that? Lama. Why? It's now been pretty well confirmed that we got a warning of war from the Egyptians 3 days before the war started. So the question is, who received this warning? Mossad? Army intelligence? Amman? Foreign Ministry? Somebody in the PMOs, in the Prime Minister's office? Who? Who was the recipient of this warning? And what happened to it? Because that's another guy that needs to go up against a wall. So they hacked our communications. Did they? I don't know. They could have. But what I do know is that physically they destroyed enough both to overcome the barrier and, get ready for this, alert people a couple kilometers away that they're coming across the border. They could hear it. They could see it. You don't need a sensor when you got 2 Mark I eyeballs. You could see them. There were phone calls, I've heard them, from soldiers saying, it's war. It's war. They're coming across in force. Send help now. Nothing. Those weren't hacked. That communication wasn't hacked.
And you mentioned your friend was a helicopter pilot, and he was sitting there listening to this for hours.
The whole squadron was.
So the reason why I'm asking these questions is there's been quite a lot of talk from people that appear to be on our side from the ground, that are patriotic people, that suggest that this was more than just negligence. It was sabotage from within.
We need to get rid of a whole host of generals who were largely responsible for what just happened. The actual reasons why this happened on Simchat Torah will come out eventually. Why the Gaza division, whose headquarters were overrun, stood down. Why it was that it took 6 hours for any reaction to occur, when the Army and Air Force bases were within earshot of what was going on. I have friends who were helicopter pilots, attack pilots, who were sitting in their cockpits, ready to take off, fully loaded, ready to stop them at the fence. They didn't get their orders for 6 hours. They could hear it. They could hear the fighting. They were called by friends in the border kibbutzim in Mosavim that were being overrun and slaughtered, saying, help us, please. They're killing our children. They weren't given permission to take off. How could it be that our army took 6 hours to defend our men, women, and children?
And there's many people that say, oh, well, this was just a breach. No, that's not a breach. I'm sorry, that's not a fucking breach. That's an inside job.
There is an inclination, listen, there is an inclination, a predisposition, when you're faced with something as improbable as this, not impossible, but improbable as this, it's even worse, to ascribe what the Germans called a Dolchstoß, a stab in the back by someone or some party.
And oh, by the way, now America is coming with aid. Do you really think Israel needs American aid to fight Gaza? Gaza. Their most elite force, their air force is hang gliders, and their ground troops are pickup trucks. They don't even have a tank. And we need American aid to, Israel needs American aid to fight them? Are you fucking serious? You don't think that there's anything fishy going on here?
And the government now is threatening to arrest people like me,
Wow,
who are criticizing the government's past behavior, performance, and are accusing the government of being responsible for October 7th. Can you imagine that? Me accusing the government of being responsible for the largest murder of Jews since the Khurban. How could I do that? I must be a traitor.